Hello, people. Welcome back to Movies with Alex. And I'm here to kind of talk about, it's kind of late now, talking about the whole Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness spoiler talk. And what really is there to spoil at this point? Everything is pretty much leaked and stuff. But then I thought to myself, why don't we talk about the biggest thing that people hated about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness? The cameos, the reason why people really either hated or loved the movie, and that is, of course, the cameos, more particularly the Illuminati. I felt like this was a solid movie in the sense that it was a good Doctor Strange sequel, which was the hardest thing to take away from it because at first this was, to me, um a disappointment at first, and then over time I went back and watched it in the theater and it was good. It was a little bit better, and I still stand by the rating that I gave it. I gave it a B on Movies with Alex on my Instagram. You can check it out wherever I point that the Instagram. But this was the thing with the whole cameos and the Illuminati. The movie's called Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and we expected multiple cameos. We expected a lot of other stuff. And you could say, oh, expectations ruin a movie. Well, it's more of the fact that everybody was theorizing, and even Marvel was chipping in. Kevin Feige, Benedict Cumberbatch, Elizabeth Olsen, they all started to pitch in they're like, oh, I'll be on the movie. Deadpool will be in the movie, and the X-Men are coming out. We're getting Hugh Jackman back, like all this stuff. And we only really had the Illuminati, which were, of course, Black Adam. I think what was his called was his name Black Adam. Um, Captain Marvel. Uh, different Captain Marvel. Let me the Illuminati of Marvel. The members. Um, it was Black. Why did I say Black Adam? Black Adam's from DC. It was so stupid. Black Bolt, Professor X, um, Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, played by John Krasinski, Captain Carter, um, and then Captain Marvel, which was played by a different actress. It was Lashana Lynch, and this really was kind of like a disappointment to most people because one, they get all killed off in a second, but I kind of suspected that was gonna happen when I saw this movie, when I saw that one scene, and I'm like, oh well, okay, but at least they're gonna have time to fight because, but no, Black Bolt, I didn't mind the way he died with him saying one thing and he blows his brains out. That was actually kind of cool, and plus he's the least noticed, like the least known member, so it was fine that he died that way. But then Reed Richards dies just getting stretched out and exploded. Then Captain Carter had probably the coolest death where they throw the shield at her and it cuts her. That was a pretty cool death and pretty intense for a Sam Raimi film or an MCU film to say the least. And then Captain Carter, just a bunch of shit just falls on her. And then Professor X's death, his neck gets snapped. And why did people complain so much? Oh well, it hurts to know that these guys died and they're just gonna come back. We're gonna have we could just go to another universe and stuff. And you unfortunately gave people that reasoning that no one's really ever gonna be gone. And it's kind of, it kind of sucks in the sense that like you did that. If like really you should have titled this movie something else. Imagine if they called it Doctor Strange Attack of the Scarlet Witch or something like that. It would have fit way more and no one would really complain about the multiverse of madness because really there was nothing maddening about it. And what hurts me is that it really ended in a cliffhanger that's like, oh, the next movie is gonna be the multiverse of madness. I'm just like, what? So it was just so silly, and it also hurts that Spider-Man did a better multiverse movie twice. Spider Verse, and No Way Home. And to me, this was just another movie. Um, I thought it was. I felt like this had the potential of being one of the biggest movies in the MCU. People even said this was the most anticipated movie of the year. It's either this or the Batman. To me, it was the Batman, because I knew Robert Pattinson was gonna kill it, and he did. But yeah, this one, it showed me one thing. This movie really showed me one thing, and that is that it doesn't matter who's directing and who's writing, because at the end of the day, it's just Kevin Feige's world. And that's what kind of upsets me about the MCU. You have a multiverse. You can do whatever the hell you want. And now I feel like it's just now it's like all crammed into what Kevin Feige wants. And it kind of hurts the movies and the TV shows. Moon Knight I have not seen. It just looks kind of boring, to say the least. No offense. Um Honestly, if Moon Knight was a movie and the Eternals was a TV show, I think that would have worked out better. I saw the Eternals; it was a piece of shit. Uh, so far, the only stuff that I've enjoyed, let's see, were Falcon and the Winter Soldier, um, Shang Chi: The Legend of the Ten Rings, No Way Home, and What If. Those are the only things I've enjoyed so far. I did enjoy Doctor Strange. It's probably like the fifth overall thing that I like. Oh, Loki. Loki was pretty good. I really like Loki. Um, but yeah, other than that, I really didn't care about anything else, and that's my thing. Like I said, let me read the. I forget the name of um, the director who did Eternals. It was she won an Oscar, believe it or not. Uh, Chloe Zhao, who did Nomadland. Now, I have not seen Nomadland, but I've heard that it's a phenomenal film, and it's like probably the best movie of 2020 by default. Um, but I'm like, I hear all these great things, and I watched the Eternals, and then I was like, this is not what I envisioned or what I expected. I don't know what I was gonna expect, but that movie was clearly not a Chloe Zhao movie. And I don't get why some directors get free range and some don't. James Gunn got free range for Guardians of the Galaxy. Taika Waititi got free range for Thor Ragnarok. The Russo brothers got free range for the Captain America films and the Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. And I've heard that what's his face? Ryan Coogler got pretty much free range of what he wanted to do, but they did tweak out and put some stuff that you could clearly tell was not his full vision. Like that scene where Black Panther just squashes everybody in a heartbeat. Like I'm pretty sure there was a scene where Black Panther actually beats up all of them, like a mixed martial arts movie or something like that. Or same thing with Shang-Chi. That was a great movie. The bus scene was fucking badass. So when we got to the final fight, we just had this big CG bloated mess that was pretty boring, to say the least. Like if people can complain about the movie Shang-Chi, it's really the last part. And that's the thing. Kevin Feige has this habit of making everything all about him. It's just like you hire these directors, let them have the free range, and not to discredit Doctor Strange too, but imagine if Sam Raimi took full control. He had the script to himself. He put the movie together. All Kevin Feige had to do is get me from point A to point B. Everything else, do it however you want. Like that would have been so much better. And then add some little things like that. But it really just felt like just whatever Feige wants just to get to the next movie. And that's another problem with the MCU. I think we finished the Infinity Saga. We we don't have to overly rely on these movies. Did you notice that the best MCU thing following the Infinity Saga was No Way Home? Ironically enough, something that's Marvel has to share with Sony. And Sony were the ones that told them, okay, we want to do the Sinister Six, and we want to have Andrew and Toby back. And that's part of the reason why Spider-Man No Way Home was a success, because they went out of their way to do something different, something new, something fresh, something unique. And at this point, all the MCU movies are feeling a little similar, except one. Um, and I kind of want that to change, for the better for the MCU. DC copied the MCU. They failed. And then they did their own thing, and look at where they are now. They are succeeding. Batman, Shazam, Wonder Woman, the Snyder Cut, Birds of Prey, Suicide Squad, the second one. They've all gotten great compliments and saying that these are some of the best movies, superhero movies, in a long time. And I agree, because those movies were great. They had fun. They went out of the way. Even Peacemaker, the TV series, was a lot of fun because it was just full creativeness from the director and the writers. And I think that's what we're lacking. We're just focusing on one man's vision, and we're not focusing on making a creative show. That's why Star Wars failed, because it was just a dumb hoe that doesn't know what she wants, and she just wants to um do her own thing. And that's why no one likes Catherine, whatever the fuck her name is, Kathleen Kennedy. Um, and Yeah, it's just such a sad world now that we just have corporate Disney just buying people and just telling them what to do. And there is, obviously you don't want to have the director take full control and then just make a big fat mess. That's why the sequel trilogy for Star Wars failed. You want to have a vision from point A to point B, and but you just constantly ramble around, do the reshoots and stuff. Hell, the Batman had reshoots, but at the end of the day, it was still all Matt Reeves' work. That's why no one complained when we had reshoots and delays for the Batman. Wonder Woman was another example. Wonder Woman had delays, reshoots, and all this other crap. But part of it had to do because Patty Jenkins was being very difficult, from what I've heard from everybody. So yeah, no one really cares. And where am I going with all of this? All I'm saying is that I want to see more, something different. I want to see directors be able to do what they want to do when they're being asked to shoot a film, and it feels like a full-fledged story, not just a bunch of stuff that somebody else told you. Let's just have fun, man. Let's just have some fun. That's all I ask for. Anyways, that's just my 2 cents on the whole thing. I know I went from like the cameos in Doctor Strange to the whole director's thing. Um, but really, it's all about just how bad, I want, how different I want things to change for the MCU for the better, and I'm pretty sure we all want that. So take care of you. Bye.